It's finally Big Ten time. Again, it's really how we got here, and to be 13-0 at this time, I think that's exactly what it is. That we found a way to get to the non-conference schedule and get through it all, get a couple road wins, win a championship. But now it all changes. Now we go into the familiarity of the Big Ten, the talent in the Big Ten, the coaches in the Big Ten. We really have challenges ahead of us. So Penn State over the last several years has been really difficult for us to win. We've been able to get some wins, but not one of them was ever easy. And this is going to be one that we're going to have to really work at like crazy to get. They got just enough guys back with Stevens and Reeves and Watkins that have been really good. This is a team that won the NIT championship last year. I feel if you win the NIT championship, because it's fortunate enough to do it at West Virginia, you're definitely, I think you're a Sweet 16 team in the NCAA. So they played really well at the end. Watkins was not playing well at the end as well, and they really played well with this young group. So it is going to be it's really going to be a tough challenge for us. I really like their team. I think that they can score a lot of ways. They got a few Muhammad Ali, Abdur Rahmans who can get to the basket and get you East Coast baskets. And the Philly, I've always loved the guys that are from that Pennsylvania, Philly area. They just can get baskets. And that's what these guys do. So it'll be really a challenge for us. I think their defense is really sticky, and it's going to give us great challenges. But that's not unlike any other team we're going to face in the Big Ten season conference.
Coach, the team's had a week of rest in between each of the last 3 games. So what's it like to be back to more of a normal rest schedule?
Yeah, I always, I think I've said this before, I've been envious of some of the teams that football's got a week, and hockey usually has a week and then bang, 2 games in a row. To be able to have some time in between to just relax, not have a day off, and I like this better. I like that we had a day off, and now we have 2 good days of practice, and then we play, and then we two days of practice and play, and that's more of the schedule. I think that's normal. So I hopefully will perform better as well.
Josh?
Kind of building off that same question, is there any concern of, obviously guys going home and things like that for the holidays and stuff? Is there any concern about, coming out slow out of the gate with during Big Ten play?
No, I don't think. The fact that we just played, the other day, and we came out, with 9-3, and then all of a sudden, we couldn't make very easy shots, and they stayed in the game for a long time with us. And so as a result, no, I'm concerned about every game. I mean, you give us 2 days, 1 hour rest, a week rest, whatever, I'm going to be concerned. But it is I think that our kids have handled this well, being off, living in a hotel or not having classes, and we've been able to get a lot of work done. That's the good part.
Right in the middle with Jay.
John, you talked about how Penn State has always been a tricky matchup for you guys over the past few years.
Yeah.
Is there something specific that Pat does, whether it's in-game or in-game prep, that kind of makes the Nittany Lions a tough out for you?
Well, they're out of that Villanova. He was assistant at Villanova when I was at West Virginia. So we've coached against each other for a long time. Yeah, there's a lot of changing defense. They'll play three-quarter court trap, where they'll actually trap. A lot of teams will play three-quarter court and just be soft and trade time off the clock. He's going to do both. They've played all kinds of zones, all kind of man. They've done a lot of different things. So it's always been difficult. And like I said, he's got guys that get buckets. They just get, when there's not a great play being run, there's an isolation that you guard the heck out of it, and then you take your hat off and say, he got one of those buckets on us.
Nick?
John, there have been years here where you guys had lofty rankings and you didn't like any part of it. You were worried about your team, how to handle it. You guys have been pretty high now for like 2-3 weeks. How's this team now?
I think they've handled it well. I think the real indication will be when we get into Big Ten play, to just see how good any team is, not just Michigan. When we're at you're home, you're away, you're home, you're away, and then we'll see probably who the really good teams are. But I think we've handled it well. Our kids are pretty focused on just getting better. That's my thought right now. I think there was a little span there when we came off those wins and we were playing a few teams, and it was like we didn't guard people like, I think I said that, we didn't guard people like all of a sudden they were Carson Edwards, or we didn't guard them, like they were, some of the guys from Villanova. I mean, we just didn't guard them like that.
Do you feel like you sufficiently squashed some egos here a little bit in the last maybe month?
Say again?
You just squashed some of the ego of the head?
Yeah, I don't think we ever had that. I don't think it's like an ego thing. I think it's just a thing that is like, all right, we got another game. Coach is drumming them up to be great, and because as you know, in this picture, you cannot. Those losses are just as damaging, right? Or more, maybe really damaging to you as far as getting in the NCAA tournament. So those are losses you don't want to have. Those bottom quadrant losses you do not want to have, and we came close to a few.
Hi, John. Talk about Josh Reeves for a second. I know Tony Carr's not there, but when you look at Reeves and Stevens and Watkins, obviously still around from last year's NIT team, what makes those three players just so dynamic?
Well, Reeves is about his defense. He seems like